Good morning to all fellow Starfield fans and gamers alike out there. Today we have another video, and this time we are going to be talking about something that I've learned and have come to appreciate with what Bethesda is doing with this game leading up to its release. That video topic is on how Bethesda has marketed the game, marketed specifically through its behind the scenes showcases, and then also through their level of confidence that is breathed into all that they have shown off so far. I believe that they have done a really good job with this, and that is why we are going to discuss in today's video why other video games need to learn from what Bethesda is doing with Starfield. If you are looking forward to Starfield and have really been impressed with what they've been showcasing so far with everything I just mentioned, drop a like on this video and subscribe and comment down below all your thoughts as we get into this video. Also, for those wondering, this video was made at the beginning of the August 14th week, as I am currently on vacation right now in Europe, so all information in this video was up to that date and not after. Now, while we still have yet to see what the actual game is going to look like on release, I think it is very fair to still comment on what they have shown us so far. For all we know, the game might not come out like we hope it will, but for what we have seen so far, it tells me that they are very confident that it will be good. So that's just a bit of a disclaimer for me. Don't take a video like this as me just sticking up for Bethesda. Now, to get into the main part of it all, let's discuss what they have done so far. Of course, you'll all know that the biggest thing that they have dropped was the Starfield Direct back in June during that Xbox Summer Game Showcase. It was a near hour-long behind-the-scenes reveal of so many different areas of what the game is going to bring. The showcase was so detailed and eye-opening that some have called it one of the best behind-the-scenes showcases ever, and maybe the best in recent memory for a video game. Now, could you imagine if every other video game out there did this? Maybe not to the degree of showcasing off 45 plus minutes of behind-the-scenes footage, but at least are open and confident enough to show off a lot of behind-the-scenes footage to really get people interested into the game. I've talked about this in a past video, but one of the most recent and evident examples of this, and better ones for me at least, to showcase why this works, is from the Dead Space remake that came out at the beginning of 2023 from Motive Studio. That was a game that had a lot hanging on its head for how good it needed to be, and I think it really showed that the studio was putting a lot of time and effort into it, and were confident enough to put out a good product and also showcase the behind the scenes of it all. A lot of the time when you see game companies not do that, I feel like it's because they don't want to show that the game is either not ready or because it's just not good. With Starfield, they have done a great job so far, really leaning on showcasing the behind the scenes. We got the June showcase, we got a developer Q&A on August 16th as I'm recording this, and then we are getting a Gamescom showcase at the end of August. That's a lot of behind the scenes to show off, and I think that's the right way to go about it. Let's now move into another aspect of what Starfield is doing right, and I think other video game IPs need to do this. That is around the products and the merch that are made out of this game, whether it be from a company itself or from the fans. I made a video not too long ago talking about how some fans have come out with Starfield made PCs that have looked really cool, custom controllers, and so on from the likes of that. I think you'll find that when passionate fans create good stuff like this, it gets people hyped on behalf of the game itself. To only then, when you see the company do it themselves to make their own stuff, that adds into it. When they announced the Constellation Edition that would come with the game, I thought that that was a really good idea. Whether you think it's worth the price is subject to each person's opinion. The product itself is what fascinated me the most, with the headset and the controller that they made in partnership with Xbox, as well as something like the watch that they added in, and even to that extent, the case that it comes with, which you can clearly tell that they wanted to put a lot of detail into. All of it is also just very colorful too, even with the obvious use of white in it all. I like that there is a good use of color in everything that is made. That is one of those areas that, again, I wish other video games would do more in, because for one, it also showcases companies' love for physical stuff as well. Whether it be a collectible item or something along those lines, I think that that is something that gives people a lasting impression on not just the company, but also the game itself. The next point I want to touch on actually has to do with a piece of news that broke the day that I'm actually recording this right now, which is August 14th. Bethesda came out with a revealed lore timeline to basically showcase a lot of the events that took place before the main timeline in the game's story. Again, Again, I think that this is something that is insanely important for a video game to dive into, especially for hardcore players. Every IP out there in entertainment has its lore nerds, basically people who know the ins and outs of every single minute detail inside of that world. While I am someone who is more of a beginner to intermediate lore nerd for other franchises like Star Wars, for example, which is my favorite one in all of entertainment, I think that doing stuff like that, it really helps for you and your main player base. That lore timeline that they released is just one of the additions to why this stuff works. I don't care if you have lore for the biggest or dumbest thing in your game. I want to see some passion put into that. I don't care if Cluckin' Bell from GTA 5 has an extensive amount of lore to it. You make sure that you give it something for the fans to latch onto. That was a joke, by the way. For example, if you are a longtime GTA 5 player, you know exactly what I'm talking about. The last thing that I want to touch on is simply the idea of just talking about your game, marketing it, and just promoting it extensively to the public. Starfield is bound to potentially be Bethesda's single biggest game that they've probably ever worked on. With that should come a lot of promotion and talk, and so far they've been talking about it quite a bit, especially when you couple in everything that I've mentioned at the beginning of the video with the behind the scenes and so on. The developer Q&A on August 16th is one of the things that they are using to get people to talk about the game. The Gamescom preview is also another thing that they are going to get them to talk about with regards to the game. All these things are important in a campaign to get the game out. I am a marketing student right now in graduate school, and so all of these things that I have seen so far have impressed me, I won't lie. Of course, as I talk on this, we are still several weeks away from the launch, and so I and everyone else haven't seen everything yet that I'm assuming that they are going to put out. As a way to end off on this section, I will give another big example to use as to why marketing is so important for your game. We've all heard and been talking a lot about the recent films in Barbie and Oppenheimer. Obviously, those two films together coincided for one of the biggest dual marketing campaigns ever in film history. But if we're strictly just speaking in the case of Barbie, they committed so much to one of the best marketing campaigns for a single film that I've personally ever seen. Their use of physical and digital media to market the movie by then also getting people to talk extensively about some of the quotes that would come out from a lot of the actors is something that really breathed a lot of life into getting people to want to go and see these films. It is stuff like this that you need to see in all your marketing campaigns, and so far, Starfield to me has done quite a bit of this. Maybe not as perfectly and extensively as Barbie did, but it is doing some of this stuff, and so I have to appreciate it when I see it. But now this leads us to the most important part of this video, which is to close it out and ask all you what your thoughts are on everything that I had to talk about, and if you agree or disagree. You can do that by commenting down below in the comment section in a way that is respectful no matter where we side on it. If you did enjoy this video, I would appreciate a like and subscribe if you are new here and are ready for Starfield like I am. I hope everyone here has a wonderful rest of the day. I'll see you all soon for another video. This is Orion, signing out.